Please remain standing for the prayer. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Thank you for another beautiful day. We also request you, Lord, to stay with us throughout our session this evening as we do the city's business. And we request a safe passage home afterwards. And all this we ask in your most holy name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and call the October 27th, 2025 Pottsville City Council meeting to order. Ask the clerk to do the roll call.
Pam Scarver.
Here.
Brenda Blaylock.
Here.
Steve Williamson.
Here.
John Heflin.
Here.
Aaron Crothers. John Shaker.
All right, has everybody gotten a chance to review the September 22nd, 2025 City Council minutes?
Yep.
All right, entertain a motion to approve September 22nd, 2025 meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion, got a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, department reports. Chief Pritchard. Chief, can you turn that mic on too? Thank you, sir.
So we've had 256 calls for service for the month of September so far. We've had 273 for October. We've had 7 case reports, 5 MBCs. We've completed 3 investigations. We've got 1 investigation still ongoing. We have written and executed 1 search warrant this month. The Pottsville Police Department's had 77 citations. Arkansas State Police was 42. We've issued 45 warrants, or I'm sorry, we've had 45 warrants served, 37 failure to appear issued, 48 failure to pay warrants issued. We've completed 214 hours of training this month. Ellis and Motley both have completed level 1 for basic SWAT operator training at Fort Chaffee. Sergeant Hardy completed the firearms instructor certification this week, and I believe that's 40 hours. And Sergeant Huffman and Sergeant Hardy attended the 2025 ACIC conference in Little Rock. It was 16 hours. And Sergeant Hardy and I attended the 2025 Arkansas Association of Chiefs Police Convention in Hot Springs, and with 15 hours of training. Total training hours that we've had so far for this year is 1,638.75 hours. We had DEA Take Back campaign at was Saturday, the 25th. Well, we are a permanent location here at Pottsville. I think Morrilton is the next closest one. Don't remember if Clarksville's still doing it or not, but we're kind of the halfway point between them as being a permanent location. And this, since the last time that we took, we had a drug take back, I think we took right at 400 pounds last time, and that was, I think, combination, if I remember correctly, 2 different campaigns on that 400 pounds. But just since this last time, in the last 5 months, I think it is, including Saturday's campaign, we collected 58 pounds. And we turned that over to the DEA this morning.
Chief Perry?
Since our last meeting, we've had 34 calls for service. 21 of those were medical calls, 10 were fire calls, 3 were motor vehicle collisions. Year to date, that gives us a total of 339 calls. We're at 14 14 members right now. We did have some mutual aid activity last month with Crow Mountain, Atkins, and Russellville. We did have one fire fatality at one of the Atkins mutual aid calls on the 10th of October. Firefighter Joseph Fryer is still currently enrolled in the emergency medical technician program in Morrilton. We had several members participate in the Polk County Fire Association water shuttle training on Saturday, October 4th, 2025 at the Polk County Fairgrounds. I attended the Polk County Fire Association quarterly meeting that, along with some of our other training, amongst the members, we've got about 100 hours of training completed since the last meeting. As far as the runs are concerned, right now we're 56 more calls than this time last year, so it's almost a 20% increase. We still are on track to have 400 total calls for service this year. I also attached a total record volume by incident type for the last 35 days since our last meeting. You'll see on there, kind of down towards the bottom, unauthorized burning. All three of those were at the same location. What I'm finding is some of our residents in the fire district but outside the city limits are having trouble following some of the county burn laws. Each time that we've had an encounter with them, we've had to request the sheriff's office. Luckily, the Pottsville Police also comes. They usually get there pretty quick. However, the sheriff's department still has not enforced any of the regulations. These people are basically going out dumpster diving, and then whatever they decide they don't want to keep, they're just setting it on fire in the yard. So,
Why does the county not?
one of the deputies was misinformed about the laws. He said because there wasn't a burn ban, but he said because it was private property, they could burn whatever they wanted. We had a spirited exchange, if you could imagine, where one of the possible officers did get involved with it, and de-escalated the situation. The other time, I'll just say this, it's not very popular to write burn complaint tickets. Now, I will say this, and this is gonna sound kind of morbid when I say it, the person that called these 3 complaints in, all 3 times, she would call because she has COPD and things like that, but we don't have to worry about her calling anymore. So, because COPD finally killed her. So,
Okay.
but I don't know. I talked to the sheriff about it a little bit, and he said he would look into it.
Are they burning anything that's chemical or?
Oh, they're
who
burning
knows?
whatever they want to burn: plastic, clothing, asbestos. You name it. It's just whatever they find that they don't want to. And some of it they're burning to get the copper and the other metals out.
Well, none of that sounds appealing.
Is it an EPA thing as well?
I have reached out to them too. Yeah.
When you were talking about asbestos and copper and,
So, I just wanted to make you aware of that because it's been trending. It's all in the same area too.
okay.
Right there off Pine Ridge around Spivey Road. So I just wanted y'all to be aware of that. Also, this past 35 days, we haven't had any gas leaks that were secondary to the fiber optic project. I think that's finally it's on the decline. Internet's been installed at Fire Station 2, currently working on getting a security camera set up for the station there. That way all the assets will be under the cover of a security camera from now on. And then also I attached 2 quotes. we're getting to the point where we need to replace around 4 of our air packs, and they're not getting any cheaper. But we do have 2 that are completely inoperable. You know, it's just, they've timed out, they've served their purpose, and it's, they can't be fixed. They're no longer up to standard. We've got a couple others that are going out, so I reached out to a couple vendors, got quotes for 4 of the SCBA harness assemblies, 8 bottles, that would be 2 bottles for each one of them, and then 4 masks that would go with them. So it's gonna be around $42,000 plus whatever tax and shipping costs are associated with it. So I just wanted to put that before the council. Currently, there's still $77,000 in this year's fixed asset budget, so if allowed to make the purchase, that's where I would pull the money from.
How long is that gonna do us for?
I would say that we would probably need to look in another 2 years at getting 4 more, till we, it'd be ideal to have 12 that are under the current NFPA standards, and a lot of that also has to do with your ISO rating.
Yeah.
ISO rating, you know, you gotta have, you for sure have to have 4 that are within the current standards.
Okay.
I'm just trying to work on little things at a time. You know, we got the PPE addressed and situated, got that taken care of, so that this is just another part of getting some of our equipment updated.
How soon do you need these, chief?
You know, I would like to, you know, as long as I could spend it out of this year's budget, that's all I'm looking at, really.
Okay.
The lead time on them is probably about 60 days.
It's cheaper to go scuba diving.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it is.
Is one of them cheaper on
You know,
shipping that it'd make a
I actually
difference?
talked to 3 different vendors. One of them was just, I couldn't believe the quote they gave me. The other 2 are literally within $250 total of each other.
Is this something we need to decide on tonight?
I mean, if you wanted to, I would certainly not be opposed to it. I would like to get it started. if
What
we
is
could.
the equipment again?
It's 4 self-contained breathing apparatus, also known as SCBAs,
Okay.
and then 8 45-minute carbon fiber breathing air bottles,
Okay.
and then 4 AV3000 face masks. that
And
would
this
go with
quote
it.
doesn't entail the shipping and everything?
No, one of them, he put,
It's 45,000,
yeah, he
281?
put Mississippi taxes on it. I don't know how that would work out, but they're both, one of them was $42,319, and then the other one was $42,047. So they're, like I said, right there about $250.
Fire department has a tax exempt number, I believe, don't they?
We talked about that, and we do not. We've paid taxes on everything as far back as I can find.
Now, the second one in Mississippi, he has freight included. Am I reading that correctly?
Let's see. I think I read where. Let's see.
The EEP one is under the,
Yeah, the last one has,
did you find it?
Let's see.
If I'm
Of course, I
reading
don't
it
have my
correctly.
glasses on me.
Right there.
Oh, freight included, okay. All right, I'd have to check on that.
When was the last time that these were updated?
What do you think? I think when they went from the,
7 years ago, maybe, I don't know.
yeah, probably 7 or 8 years ago, they went from the 22, they call them 2216 systems to the 45-minute system. So they're 4,500 PSI versus 2,000 PSI, so you,
I remember the last time we replaced all of them at once, and it was like $200,000.
oh yeah. There's still some, well, we don't have them in service. We've got some of the bottles that we use for the airbags that we kept, but the old 2200 systems are being phased out by all the manufacturers now. And once, even some of the 4500s that we got, the first generation ones that we have, they'll start phasing them out because of the parts.
So are we looking at 45,000 every 2 years?
I would say 45,000 every other year. That would get, over 2 years, that would get us, I don't know, maybe 8. And that would be a work, I'd have to just go back and look and see what the serial numbers are on some of the other ones.
Is it
Yeah.
7 years?
Well, the bottles, yes. Really, the end of service life on the back plates are 10 years. So, and we've got some that are well over 10 years. Now, there's a trailer that they kept all the old ones for training, but I wouldn't even use them for training because they're not within standard. They hadn't had the backplate annual test done, and then the bottles that are on there haven't been hydro tested like they're supposed to be.
And you don't foresee any other expenses for the rest of the year?
Not like that. No. And I've still got 20,000 in the emergency fund also. The only thing I really need to, building maintenance wise, I've got a front window in the station over here that needs to be replaced. I gotta get some quotes on that. I was just waiting on it to finally play itself out, and it has, so. But other than that, I can't think of anything else. Other than, we'll be doing our pump testing that we have to do annually.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that in December, but that's something that we always pay for, out of maintenance.
So what do you think the total cost is gonna be?
I think whatever the taxes end up being, so I figure about $4,000 in taxes, so.
On this
around
last page, it has the 2962. The
Yeah.
quotation total was 45,281.89. Is
So
that-
I think that's roughly 7.5%.
Okay,
And that is a Mississippi company.
okay.
I know this guy because actually I know both salesmen really well, but this guy just recently retired from the state.
What number does the council need to give approval tonight?
I would just to ensure that we covered the taxes, I would say 45,000.
45,000? Okay, I entertain a motion for the fire department to purchase SCBA's from the company EEP. Is that the company you're going with, Chief?
I tell you what, let me do this. Let me make sure the freight and everything is, because that caught me off guard because when I talked to him, he told me that didn't include freight, but now I've got him where
Was
it's.
45 gonna cover it?
Well, 45,
It
if
was
we
a-
do 45, 281.89, so.
So we say 45, 5 or 46?
Yeah, 46.
And I've got.
Better be higher.
We can, yeah, and any incidental that comes out, yeah, I've still got like $5,000.
They can still bill us on this year's? Okay.
Okay.
Well, I make a motion, we authorize 46,000 for the SCBA's.
We do it for just, kind of open-ended on the 3
On the company.
vendors?
Yeah,
And you get to pick,
yeah.
I'll just make sure.
and you
I
get to
them.
pick who
Let's
you
just
wanna
say
buy it from.
that you can purchase the 4
SCBA.
SCBA's, the 8 cylinders, and then the 4
4 face pieces.
base
Yeah.
pieces. What was
Okay,
that?
got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries.
That's all I have. Any
Thank you,
questions
Chief.
for me? Thank you.
Public Works. Which one we got here?
Since the last council meeting, Public Works has completed 20 shut-offs for non-payment, 6 of those remain off. 17 work orders that are various. We did 15 locates throughout the city. Installed new water service on McHenry Road, River Road, and Carter Road. Repaired 2 service line leaks, one on Alexis Lane and one on Levi Place. Relocated a water main on Highway 331 due to erosion and was exposed. Installed new fire hydrant on Marie Drive. Fixed main leak on Carter Road. Repaired 1 manhole on River Road. Repaired sidewalk on River Road in front of middle school. Replaced a culvert on North River Road. Cleaned clean city ditches on Day Road. Cut 2 trees on Nice Place to improve drainage issues, put out pallet of co-mix, and finish mowing city ditches, and we service city equipment. We caught 1 dog and 0 remain in kennel. Questions?
Thanks, sir. Code enforcement.
Good evening. Since last meeting, this is my first one. We had 11 code cases. Of those, one's been resolved. We got 10 still working in progress. Some of those that I wanted to mention is C&C out on Highway 64. They just got their tin roof in last week, so they're working on the house now. 504 Pine Ridge has a 30 cubic yard roll-off in their yard now, and it's being cleaned up. 208 Edmondson, right next door, it's continuing to close up. I talked to her today. Her mother just passed away, so I've given them some additional time to continue working. 114 Edmondson, between 504 and 208, he'll be up here by Friday, and he's going to be cleaning out that property and moving on. I've had 40 courtesy notifications of ordinance violations. All 40 have been resolved. 39 were property maintenance, and 1 was a house placard for not human fit for living. Building and permitting, we had 14 issued permits. 1 was a business license, 1 was a brand new shed, and the other 10 were plumbing, electric, and foundation. Inspections, we had 16 total inspections. 3 were for plumbing, 9 was for electric, 1 was for foundation, the other 3 were for site prep. We had cleaned out for the city. We cleaned out the materials behind the park shop. Also did a ADA compliance inspection for City Hall and Police Department. So we also identified 2 handicap positions over in Rankin Park that did not have the signs. Those have now been corrected. I contacted Arkansas Tech University to see if we could get some engineering students and see if they could be involved as far as doing some of the programs that we got here that we need to fix. Some other things that we've done, I've had 7 street lights repaired. They were completely burnt out, and there was a lot of areas that were just blacked out with Halloween coming. I've asked them to push it. Quail Meadow and Sagebrush have already been repaired. There's 3 there. There's 4 more on Pisgah, and those will be repaired tomorrow. I sent in Friday, I sent in a list of 28 more, and I got the list back today that those will be done by next Monday. As long as they're minor, they'll be completed. And the only other thing was we notified 6 street signs that were missing, and we've asked that those be replaced. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. Planning and zoning, we had ordinance that will be presented tonight for rights-of-way permits, and also pending some new businesses that will be coming, should be discussed next month. Fall Sinclair General Store.
Yeah, we've got, the electrical is inside. We now have outlets along both walls every 10 feet, set up perfectly for vendors. We've strung some, what I call Edison lights, more for use outside, but it's provided enough lighting in there that looks really nice, and we're getting it all decorated right now for the trunk or treat Thursday night. And then also Friday, we'll have it, or not Friday, Saturday, we'll have it open for our 2nd annual Falls Fest car show. We'll be downtown. We'll have downtown blocked off for that as well. So if anybody wants to go down there and look after the meeting, I've got the key. They've been down there working. I don't know if they'll still be there when the meeting's over or not, but I can open it up and let you in if you want to go look. It looks, it's nice. Yeah. And they're decorating it up really nice for Thursday, so. And if anybody wants to come hand out candy with us, you're welcome to do that as well. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, moving on to old business. Highway 64 expansion. I've provided the council with a statement regarding the 64 expansion. What I wanted to do is just kind of get some clarity from the council tonight, and then also get an official notice in our minutes to how we want to proceed forward with this. I wasn't here during the original discussion of this. What I want to clarify, is this something that we were looking at from a master plan aspect to expand our infrastructure at our cost, or was this strictly for the business owner?
I think the conversation originally started for the business owner,
Okay,
and then it kind of swayed into expansion.
okay,
But I think the original conversation was for Brandon.
okay. So I just want to know, I think like my question is before we go into a contract, do we want to go by our current ordinances, which required, it's a developer-driven process? Or do we want to say that this is going to be a part of our master plan and our plan to expand our commercial district on Highway 64 and the city incurs the cost?
I think we might look at for commitments from the property owner, long-term commitments. That's where the conversation originally started.
Right.
Yeah, it started with him, but I think then we did start discussing the fact that it was part of our long-term plan. So it wasn't just for him, it was also fulfilling that.
So I guess the main thing that I have the issue with is it's hard to, just for me personally, seeing the number that we were given, and it's going to be it's pretty close across the board for that project, because if we're looking at it from a totality standpoint of expanding 64, we need to stick to gravity sewer, and that the only really option is boring across the road. So we're looking at roughly $160,000 to $180,000 quote. Now, if we stay on the north side of 64 and extend west and run a force main with a pump, then we're looking at a third of the price. But I just want to know how we want to proceed forward as a city. Do we want to entertain a cost-sharing agreement? Do we want to stick with the developer-driven? Because what scares me about going into a cost-sharing agreement is, let's say a $20 million infrastructure comes up and they say, well, you paid X amount of dollars to help extend this guy, so we want you to do the same, which
I think we need to have a good understanding of the possibilities of what's going to expand to that area.
I agree.
I think we need commitments. I do want to expand,
Right.
absolutely, but what's going to be long-term better
Right.
for everyone, for the potential other businesses and us as a city.
Right. But do we want to endure that cost? Do we want to share that cost?
Depends on what the business is.
Right. For the current one that's discussing.
I think we need commitments from him,
Okay.
long-term commitments.
I think prior discussions, people were making decisions based off of estimates that were much, much lower than what they are now.
Right.
Now it's like triple the price, so.
Right.
He was originally going to help with the cost, but then it just took so long to get anything done that I don't think that's on
Yeah.
the table as far as he's concerned now.
Right.
It might, I mean, if you talk to him, it might be, but
I think we need to know what we're getting into before we vote on anything and make it set in stone.
Okay. So what I'll do
I
on
think
my.
we need to expand,
Right.
but
I agree. But it should be,
what can we kind of work together and go, all right, we'll expand, but what's your future and timelines and expectations?
Right.
And dollars.
okay, so by the next meeting, I have several options and quotes and bids for this project.
Okay.
But I don't want to move forward until we have a clear understanding. Just,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Because we can build it and everything can change, but at the end of the day, we're still holding the check that paid it.
Right.
and he made a presentation to the council early on, but I don't know if that's still what
The plan.
his plans are
Right.
at this point.
Yeah.
So maybe by next month, I can have Justin Brennan show up. He'll have us some kind of presentation or idea of what he plans to do, and we can discuss how we move forward with this.
Yeah.
Does that sit right with the council?
I agree.
Okay.
Just while we're on the topic, does the city, we allot so much for sewer and water expansion every year?
Yes.
How much did
Let's see.
we allot this year, and how much have we spent?
Let's see. Let's see. Go through my funds here. I don't see a line item.
Part of the budget before, I thought we had a line item for water sewer expansion. Do y'all remember anything like that?
I thought we had something.
I think we've been told something, but I've never seen it.
Where's it at? Mine doesn't say that. Okay, so 80,000.
It's what we have.
Do we have anything out of that, Fran?
We got 76,000 left. Out of that 80.
And that's from this year? Is there anything left over from last year or previous years?
I'd have to go back and look and see what it was last year.
I'm questioning if we have 80,000 for this year, we have 76
That's what
available
was
right
budgeted.
now. We've spent
That's what was
4,000 year to date.
But I don't remember, what, did we have anything last year for water sewer expansion too?
I'm questioning why we should keep doing it.
Budget?
Yeah.
We don't use it.
Do we have expansions planned other than this?
That's our main priority right now is 64. I mean, according to our master plan, we're good. We need to look
I
at
was just thinking
Yeah.
like next year, if we're already, we were able to afford $80,000 this year in that, and if we're able to afford the same next year, you know, that makes it not hurt as bad.
We would use the 80,000, but we made Eric Eden pay full for his,
Yeah,
so that would have been.
yeah, I'm
used
not
this
sure,
year.
I mean, I'm not arguing to pay for it for it, I'm
Right.
just saying,
Right.
we do have money where we can purposely start spending some towards
Right.
maybe meet them in the middle, or.
Right. Okay.
I thought we set aside some money before for that project, like $30,000 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I think Randall's right, I think
Yeah.
we've done something, and I don't know if
There was
it was
some
rolled back into, or whatever happened to it, or rolled over, I mean, I don't know, but it seemed like when we first set that up, when that first initial bid, I think it was talked about setting aside $30,000, and then.
Where did it go? What did we do?
Through the cracks or whatever happened, it just, you know, just got put back.
Right. The city has it. I just want to make sure that we're all,
Yeah.
it's going to be a council decision. It's beyond
something
my,
we might want to, when we do our budget, have a 5-year plan for
Right.
sewer expansion, when we
Right.
start approving this for
Right.
$80,000 a year over the next 4 or 5 years.
And we also need to know what do we have in there accessible
right.
right now.
Right now, it's around 256.
So we've been rat holing money and not spending and doing expansion.
Right.
Okay.
So we just need to table it.
Yeah, we're good. The last time we did, we tabled it till later, so next month, we'll have something. I'll get with Justin and we'll try and get something to where we can discuss what that agreement looks like between the developer and the city. All right, moving on to new business. first order of business, we need to remove previous Mayor Tankersley from all city accounts. It's already been done, but we need it formally for the minutes for audit purposes, so I'll entertain a motion to remove Randy Tankersley from all city accounts.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, item number two is the employee handbook, policies and procedures. Just giving an update on this, we're still working on it. My attention's on the budget right now. I think for the employee handbook, we should have something, December, I think I'm gonna shoot to present that to the council, and then probably wait a month and then, adopt that. Policy and procedures will be for, council and myself, any elected officials, which probably be the beginning of next year for that. If there's any discussion on that. All right, moving on to item 3. I wanted to set a date and time for the work session on the 2026 budget. I'm looking right now at the week before council, so the 17th through the 21st. If we want to establish a date that we can get together on that.
You're looking at what now?
The 17th of November through the 21st. 17th? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. 6 p.m., is that good, or do we want to start a little earlier?
I'd say 6, whatever is better for everybody else, 17th, but in case we need to have another meeting later that week, we still
Right.
have time before council to
Yes,
get
sir.
everything approved.
Right,
And the 17th,
okay.
6 o'clock.
We'll do it. Entertain a motion for scheduling November 17th work session for 2026 budget at 6 p.m.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, item number 4, talking about the Act 605 training that's required by January 1, 2026, in regards to the water education. Myself and Councilmember Schaefer completed our training this month. Pam will be scheduled for November, and then that will have everyone covered. And it's basically a new act that we all have to get this training as the acting water board, so that we're not considered in distress. Item number 5 is a resolution 2025-3. This is a resolution adopting an artificial intelligence policy for the city of Pottsville to remain in compliance with Act 848 of 2025. So this is basically making us, holding our employees and officials accountable that AI cannot make any decisions for them when it comes to government purposes. So I will entertain a motion to
Where
approve.
would this have been used in the past, having AI make decisions for,
Somebody's had to do it, so I'm guessing legislature has decided they need to make it a law.
I was just curious
Yeah.
when I was reading this earlier,
I'm-
and where,
yeah.
how is this a conversation?
This was one of our, I think it's like a 26-page new acts that got released this year, so we're trying to stay
And
ahead.
this is just basically to where we can have an AI make a decision for us on our behalf.
Yes, sir, we just say, we can discipline or, terminate if we catch someone doing that, so. Yeah. So, entertain a motion to approve resolution 2025-3.
So moved.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, moving on to the ordinances. Y'all bear with us. We gotta do a formal process through this. So the first ordinance is ordinance 2025-4. It's something that we've been working with the planning commission with on several months. What this is an ordinance regulating all the city of Pottsville, Arkansas right-of-way requiring a permit prior to cutting city street, curb, ditch, or sideway or sidewalk, providing for a penalty, declaring emergency, for other purposes. So essentially what this does is gives us teeth with the current construction companies, any fiber optic companies, anybody conducting work within our right-of-way will be required to submit a permit. Depending on the size of the project, be required to submit a bond. It gives us more teeth It also helps us know who's where, and if there's any damage incurred to city infrastructure, then we can hold those folks accountable. And I think it's a really good thing, so I'll open the floor to discussion if there is any on that. I think Planning Commission's been working several months, and they've recommended approval for tonight, so.
What is our obligation for our city right away as a city?
So we have to maintain, basically any infrastructure sidewalks that we have there, our drainage, the maintenance as far as mowing, et cetera.
Is there anything that goes into detail as far as what we
There-
are obligated to?
There was a workshop at a neighboring city that we went through, and it's a very gray area when it comes to the right-of-way.
Yeah.
Because there was a certain ordinance was passed requiring property owners to mow the right-of-way. I couldn't go into detail about it.
Yeah.
So, I think that we continue to maintain our right-of-ways and, you know.
I think we should continue starting to maintain our right-of-ways.
Right.
I don't think as a city we've been doing a very good job of it until here recently.
Right. Okay. Yes, sir.
I think we ought to have some teeth in that matter is
Right.
our obligation to the city.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has gotten better.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
But to hold someone else accountable when we're not holding ourselves accountable,
Right. Right.
that's a double-edged sword.
Right. Will that, will
I know
not,
people also maintain the right-of-way of the city and the state for their own,
Right.
that faces their property.
right,
Not everybody does.
right.
But,
Yes, sir.
but this is more than just mowing, this is like where.
This isn't even mowing.
This is repair in
Yes.
case somebody
Yes.
comes in and
Yeah.
and
This
messes
is
it
like-
up.
Hits our water line
Yeah.
or sewer.
Yeah.
They
exactly,
tore up the
anything.
pavement and.
Right.
by
Just
my
gives us
mailbox
teeth and,
yeah.
you know, it's a pretty common ordinance throughout the cities in the state of Arkansas.
Protect our own investment.
Yes.
Right. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So,
I make a motion, we pass ordinance 2025-4.
okay, I'm going to ask the clerk to read the title of ordinance 2025-4.
Ordinance 2025-4, an ordinance regulating all of the city of Pottsville, Arkansas rights of way requiring a permit prior to cutting a city street, curb, ditch, or sideway, providing for a penalty, declaring an emergency, and for other purposes.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules and place ordinance 2025-4 on its second and third reading by title only.
That's so moved.
Got a motion, got a second. Ask the clerk to call the roll.
Pam Shriver,
Yes,
Randall Blaylock,
Yes.
Steve Williamson,
Yes.
John Heflin,
Yes.
Karen Crothers, John Schaefer.
Okay, I need a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-4.
Make a motion, we adopt ordinance 2025-4.
second,
Got a motion, got a second. Ask the clerk to call the roll.
Pam Shriver,
yes,
Randall Blaylock,
Yes.
Steve Williamson,
Yes.
John Heflin,
Yes.
Karen Crothers, John Schaefer.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to enact the emergency clause of ordinance 2025-4.
make a motion to enact the emergency clause.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Ask the clerk to call the roll.
Pam Shriver,
Yes,
Randall Blaylock,
Yes.
Steve Williamson,
Yes.
John Heflin,
Yes.
Karen Crothers, John Schaefer.
Okay,
And just to be clear if anybody in the community does question this or have questions, this is only for the city, not state-owned right-of-ways.
correct. Yes, sir. Thank you for that. That's a good point. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is ordinance 2025-5. What this ordinance is, I'm going to read it by title, just kind of the briefing of it, and then we'll go into a discussion of this. This is an ordinance amending ordinance number 99-3 and calling a special election in the city of Pottsville, Arkansas to remove the current restrictions on the 1% sales tax and to authorize broader use of the 1% sales tax. So I've also provided the council with a kind of general guide and what we have done throughout this. This tax was originally adopted by our voters in 1999, and for more than 25 years, it's been solely dedicated to the water and sewer debt. in my opinion, while it served our community very well, it's grown significantly over the past 3 decades, and the demands of our infrastructure and services have grown as well. So what I would like to do is I would like to propose this ordinance so that we broaden the use of the 1% sales tax to encompass the water and sewer department, the streets, drainage, and road maintenance, and general operating purposes of the city. So what this would do is not raise taxes. Instead, it would broaden the use of this sales tax so that we could better serve the city and the citizens of Pottsville. Because, you know, if you could go to the next slide for me, Holly. I've put it up on the screen as well. I went ahead and did this bar graph. It's kind of hard to see from right here, but I also attached it to the council's packet as well. So I pulled back from 2015 all the way to now. The revenue in 2015 that we received for the sales tax was $196,000 and $917. So we're projected to bring in $434,875 in 2025. So I just think as a city, we have grown substantially in the last 10 years and especially in the last 30 years. So I think that it would be for the betterment of our cities. Right now, we rely on state funding and several things just to do some overlays and some solid work. If we were legally allowed to use this money towards other areas, I think it would greatly benefit the city as a whole and the community. You know, we don't have a huge park budget, but just along with that, we would be able to purchase new playground equipment and really improve our city as a whole.
Is this gonna put any kind of stress on where it's currently being appropriated?
No, so that's why me and the city attorney Jacob have talked about this. We've spoke with Municipal League, we've talked with a lot of people. We didn't want to encompass a certain percentage to any specific amount. So what I want to do, if this is adopted and if the voters choose to pass this, I would like to rename the current sales tax account. Well, we'll have to keep that for the time being because I can't retroactively use those funds for what it was originally passed for. So I'd like to open a new account so that we have all the sales tax money in one place. And I would say 90%, I'd say honestly, everything that we're going to use this for is going to be by council approval.
Okay.
And we should be able to track that money.
It can still be spent on water and sewer. if
Yes,
we need
yes,
to,
sir.
yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we
Right.
could
And just so
absolutely.
for the public, I think we just need to drive it home that this is no increase, no extension, because we've all heard about extensions within the past few years of
Right.
taxes,
Right.
and have an open forum to explain it. Because there is no expiration on any of our sales tax, all right?
No, sir.
All right.
Now, we're required to keep so much back for the water and sewer department.
Mhm.
Is this going to affect that at all?
No, ma'am.
Because I remember before, that's when
Right.
we got into the mess with having to raise the water rates and, because we didn't have enough put back.
Right. We are projected right now, if we continue on the same track that we're at, by the time that we would even be able to start collecting that money, the city would have for water and sewer debt around $500,000.
What's in our account right now?
200 and, I think it was 256 is where we're at right now.
And I think at the last municipal league, they were talking something about the surveys of our water. Help me out. Do you
So the
know?
water rate study,
The water rate study,
so the
yes.
605 training that you'll attend, that is what it covers, is essentially this act has created, John, you might have to help me out a little bit. It's made it to where no longer can the commission, the board, the water board, actually determine the rates of our water customers.
Okay.
We will have a study conducted, and then whatever comes back on that study is what we're obligated to charge.
And we get to pick the study group, or, because it seems like the state is taking over
Right,
Yes.
right. We can't,
municipalities for water. But, and I say it seems, they are.
right. And the state has a selective list of who we can choose to do our rate study.
Seems like mafia.
It does.
I think it's designed to prevent some cities from charging astronomical rates,
Right.
you know, just because they can,
Well, we got one community in our area that does that.
yeah. So
But you don't know what else it could be used for too.
Yeah,
But we gotta use it.
it's designed to kind of liberalize the board based on the economy and everything in your area.
Yes.
Well, not to get off topic, I'm for, the sales tax, the way it's divvied up.
Yes, sir.
And it's gonna be more easy to manage
Yes,
that
sir.
money coming in
Yes, sir.
than getting dumped into one account that has little oversight to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the whole purpose, is to better provide for our community, and then also in the same breath, have more accountability of what we're
Yeah.
doing with
As long
it.
as it's getting spent properly.
Right, right. And that's what I'm kind of going back to, is the way that I see it, and I intend to use it, is I want to be able to do a project or something to benefit our community, and then let the citizens know your tax dollars paid
As
for.
long as we still, as a council, can approve it to where,
We can take it to a ballot.
yeah.
Yes, sir. So.
And or approve it for spending limits. too.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And I think, I want to clarify tonight, is we are looking to go ahead and do an emergency clause on this and get this done. What this does is, it does not mean that anything's changing right now. All the council is simply doing is passing this ordinance so that we can call a special election. So the city and the community will go on March 3rd and be able to vote on this for or against it. And if it's against, then the water and sewer debt will remain receiving the 1%.
I think we need to promote it to the city too.
Yes, sir.
So this will
If
be,
this passes, we need to promote it
Right.
for what it is.
Yes, sir.
It's no extension, it's no increase, it's the way everything gets divvied up.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the city gets to vote on it. It's everybody else's decision, not
Yes,
ours.
sir. Yes, sir.
so this will be its own election by itself.
Yes. Well, this will be encompassed during the general election during March 3rd.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it won't be in a special election.
Right.
Special, okay.
Right. Any more discussion for the 1%? Okay, if there's no objection, I'll ask the clerk to conduct the first reading of ordinance 2025-5 by title only.
Ordinance number 2025-5, an ordinance amending ordinance number 99-3 and calling a special election in the city of Pottsville, Arkansas, to remove the current restrictions on the 1% sales tax and to authorize broader use of the 1% sales tax revenue.
Thank you. Okay, that was the first reading of ordinance 2025-5. I need a motion to suspend the rules and place ordinance 2025-5 in order to adopt and enact the emergency clause.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? Ask the clerk to call the roll.
Pam Schreiber,
Yes,
Randall Blaylock.
Yes.
Steve Williamson,
Yes.
John Heflin,
Yes.
Karen Carruthers, John Schaefer.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, sir.
When we refinanced for our water and sewer, was that tied to that tax?
No. The water and sewer is a revenue bond, strictly revenue based.
Yes.
Okay, entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-5.
So moved.
Got a motion? Need a second?
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? Ask clerk to call the roll.
Pam Schreiber,
yes,
Randall Blaylock,
Yes.
Steve Williamson,
Yes.
John Heflin,
Yes.
Karen Carruthers, John Schaefer.
Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to enact the emergency clause of ordinance 2025-5.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? Ask clerk to call the roll.
Pam Scarber,
Yes.
Randall Blaylock,
Yes.
Steve Williamson,
Yes.
John Heflin,
Yes.
Karen Crothers, John Schaefer.
Okay, next item is the last item. It's the same thing. This is ordinance 2025-6. This is an ordinance amending ordinance number 80, or it should be 2008-6, and calling a special election in the city of Pottsville to remove the current restriction on the 0.5% sales tax and to authorize broader use of the 0.5% sales tax revenue. I've also attached the same thing, if you could switch the slide for me real quick. So in the same breath, just at divided by 2, this is for the fire department. And what I want to make clear is that this is not intended to take funds away from the fire department. Once again, this is something to allow us to create a new account, emergency services account. I want to broaden the use to encompass our emergency services as a whole for the police department and the fire department. What this will do is, if a crisis arises and the police department needs something, or there's an emergency of some sort, then this gives the city more options than to just look at the budget and.
So does the previous ordinance we just passed.
Right. The general operating purposes, 100% would do that as well. But
How about fire dues?
So right now, we collect fire dues from outside city limits, not inside city limits.
Is this gonna affect that?
I have no intent of adding fire dues back to.
Chief, is it gonna affect fire dues?
Well, one of the things that the legislature just fixed for fire dues is after we went through trying to streamline the process for anything in the fire district that's outside the city limits, there's a process now. It's too late to get into it this year, but there's a process now that the county clerk can collect the fire dues for us. They can put it on their bill. But
For outside city limits?
For outside city limits.
How about inside city limits? 'Cause that's what the tax was for.
So, yeah, I don't know of any implications from it.
Are we gonna have to pay fire dues as a city inside the city limits?
No.
Okay.
My question on this is, the fire department's always operated on a shoestring budget.
Right.
If you see the police or whoever has an emergency need, and we spend $200,000.
Right.
Where's the $200,000 the fire department's needing that year coming from?
Right. And I mean, that's where it comes down to, if this stuff does pass, I say we adopt an ordinance to have it controlled by the city council. I mean, it's gotta be, we've all gotta have input into this. We can't just willy-nilly the money. It's gotta be,
Chief Perry, what do you think about this?
Well, we've talked about it, when, naturally, as a department head, you never want to see money shuffled elsewhere. The only thing that I could see that it would have a direct effect on us, the fire department, is when it comes time to buy a new apparatus. I think that, and we talked about it, as long as there's some provisions in there that when that time arises, because you're looking at, I think Brad and I were talking the other day, when I talked to him, the last tanker we got was, close to $400,000 by the time it was all said and done. You look at the price of fire apparatus now, and the way, used to a fire engine was $500,000, and now, a real frontline, Rosenbauer pumper, you're looking at $1.2 million, So as long as there's a way that we can, be able to have, and I think that y'all were just kind of hitting on that, we can have the ability to request that money.
And it be there?
And it be there, right.
'Cause what I don't wanna see is have this tax divvied up amongst fire and police, and it's gonna be a match of who gets to spend it first.
Right.
To where it doesn't leave another department short.
Yeah, and I was telling the mayor that we've kind of run into the same thing, next door in Russellville. same type of tax, and we've really, I think Chief Pritchard and I could work together on it.
You're not always gonna be here,
I know.
and
but
neither
that's-
will we.
That's what I.
And we
that's
won't
like-
either.
But that's right now, you know.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what, you know, I've been going through with the other hat that I wear. You know, we've even went through some issues where some,
So what do you think about it, yes or no?
with the amount of money that we have coming in, I was surprised when I seen it, what I was figuring. I'm for it as long as I have access to it when I need it. That's
Okay.
where I'm at.
And I think that's our, like, all of our duty.
Chief Pritchard, do you have any other needed funds that you're not currently getting?
There's always equipment that we're in need for that we don't, we.
Such as?
Usually by the end of fiscal year, there's always something that's happened throughout the year.
Well, by the end of the physical year, you're always trying to spend what you got left.
Yeah, well, that never happens for us, so.
Yeah.
As, we're always short-handed on that, so
What are you short right now on?
you put me on the spot. I don't have a list.
It's not trucks.
But, well, we're so used to.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot either. I'm just curious.
Do what now?
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm just curious where we currently stand.
Well, there's something we can do with it that we don't, we just kinda do what we can early in the year and then hope for
Yeah.
the best toward the end. Because it's usually, with us working off of the general like we normally do, there's usually something happens, water, sewer, or something like that, that they usually take precedence over our needs, so we don't put up much of a fuss, we just kinda roll with what is, so.
Well, and as I understand the last ordinance that y'all just voted on, you know, the fire department would
Also
also
benefit.
benefit
Exactly.
from that.
And the
So-
police department.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's another reason why I don't have the heartburn like, you know, some would think I would, because still gonna have access to additional funds that way.
Right.
How do we ensure, without just saying, what will we plan to, how do we ensure on paper for future leaders that the income of the fire department is still a positive growth chart like that? That their
It's-
income
Is that something,
Is that-
I'm gonna ask the city attorney, like, is that something, if we pass an additional ordinance, that we can regulate or say, okay, the fire department, in order to purchase new equipment or a new truck, we have to ensure that they get a certain amount of that revenue?
yeah, it's hard to get an amount because
The percentage,
Right,
you'd have to say
The needs-
percentage.
right, it's always gonna change.
Yeah, you can always, make a master plan for EMS.
Right.
Think ahead 5 years down the road, hey, we need to be putting,
Well,
this
I'm
money
already
back,
working
but-
on a capital asset plan, and that's another reason why when I started looking at it, I believe working with this council, like I said, we're all not gonna be here forever, but working with this council, I believe that I can come to you with a legitimate, 5 to 7 year plan, and you guys would ensure that money from that sales tax would be there. That's what I'm riding on. That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying as long as I'm the chief, I feel confident that the council and the leadership's gonna work with me to be able to do that. As long as I show, I'm not just going out to buy a new fire truck because I want
but it's also as the police chief as well. He's gonna have to have the same commitment as well, and I believe you will. But like I said, not everybody's gonna be here from
Right.
right. Well,
1999.
I mean, I know one way that we could, I would have to go back, we could table this ordinance, I'm fine with that. We could go back and restructure how that percentage lies out when the people
Or
vote
put
on it.
spending limits of that half
Right.
cent, where it has to come before a council to do it.
I totally agree, I'm 100% for
If you're gonna split it up, it's not like the 1 cent sales tax where
that. Right,
everybody's gonna get a piece of it to include police and fire.
right.
could you break it up to where, instead of making it susceptible to everybody, a percentage of each year's income is put into a fund, emergency?
Right.
Or can we just make it
Like-
generic emergency
Right.
fund?
Right.
To where
In that fund, like, that's what I wanna do with
that
the
gets
sales
funded
tax.
to police and
Right,
fire.
that's how I kinda wanna do it, but I was just asking with Jacob if, you know, after we vote, that we have an ordinance passed of how we divvy that. from
I'm
that
gonna
fund.
be up for putting it more, if we can,
Right,
put it into more of an emergency fund
right,
that benefits both.
right. That's my plan, is to.
Regardless of the percentages, but it's a need at that time, whether
Right.
it's next year,
Right,
5 years, 10 years from now.
right.
It's there.
Yes.
And no one's fighting over it.
Same thing for my 1% that we discussed.
Yeah.
I wanna have, instead of writing the check to the fire department or the water, you
Yeah.
know, I wanna write it to this emergency services sales tax fund. That way we can see
Yeah.
it and know.
Because
how
everybody's
much per
existing
se.
right now,
Right,
And-
right?
And Chief Perry and Chief Pritchard right now, I mean, they have a plan for long-term, you're preparing your money
Right.
out farther.
Yeah, capital outlay.
Maybe that's something that we require going forward from those positions, so when they're not there,
Right.
and that way whoever's in the council at the time can have an idea of what's coming up for each, so that
Right.
we can plan accordingly and not spend, you know,
Right.
too much. You need a new fire truck in 3 years,
Right.
okay, we need to put back X amount each year,
yep,
so
exactly.
that we have that, because I'm like, you know, y'all are saying, we're all here now.
Right.
But who's
And that's,
gonna be here next?
me and Chief Perry had a discussion. That's something I was doing today. I hadn't got the time to really present it, but I was crunching numbers to make sure, you know, we're putting X amount for the next fire truck, or like, so in X amount of years, which is just something we'd have to work. A
Right.
master
Yeah.
plan would be great.
And it's nothing to take away from the police at the same time.
Right.
Everybody's gotta have a plan to spend the money.
Just being
Well,
responsible.
and-
and-
like
And,
I
you know, if
said,
we
the-
do this, it's also gonna alleviate some of the or some of the splitting up of that 1%
Yes, sir.
that would have
That's what I
gone
said.
to you,
Right,
not you, but,
Right.
you know,
That's
you,
what I was
but you
gonna
still
say.
have access to it.
Right.
right,
Because when the original sales tax went into place, if I remember correctly, we were at a point, the fire department didn't have money for diesel.
right,
And that's when it was put in, and we had X amount of sales tax at the time.
right,
Where we were then and where we are now,
right.
we've grown exponentially. Now, our needs have also grown, but sometimes needs change some, so we need to look at that as well, so.
Yeah. I'd be for, and I'm for it, don't get me wrong, but I think it needs to go into a, more of an emergency fund instead of split 50-50.
Yes, sir.
That's my opinion,
Yes, sir.
but
That's
I'm gonna
my-
vote for
and-
it
and
I
regardless.
believe that's the way he
That's
explained
my
it to
Yeah,
us.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to open.
Just
it-
whereas a need is needed, you
Right.
can
Yes, sir.
spend that money, it's
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
with,
Yes.
you know, with some supervision and
Yeah.
approval.
That's my plan.
Is there a way this could be represented with protection wrote in on fire department's income?
We could do percentages, like on how much goes where, but we can't really add much, right? We can do a percentage. We've been in talk with several state officials, and we've been grinding on this for weeks, but, we would be kind of confined to just putting a percentage cap on it.
Like Pam said, this council would be okay with, but you're also
Right.
opening it up to be abused.
Right.
Now, can we pass this and then make an ordinance, how it gets divvied up, or, no, I'm not divvied up, but,
How it's approved
The
to be
control
spent.
measures.
Right,
yeah.
absolutely,
I feel like there has to be a protection for the fire department.
absolutely, we can do
Yeah.
that.
This is what,
I think.
Because it was originally for the fire department.
they
Right.
live and die off of this.
Right.
and We've got a great fire department, and cutting 5% off of their income
Right.
could change that,
Right.
you know, and it could change ISO ratings, and
Right.
that would change our taxes.
In my opinion, I believe we should enact, is my plan to do an ordinance for the sales tax, 0.5%, whether fire and police, and the 1%. I mean, I just think that is very sensitive money that we as a group should be deciding on how it's used for our community. I mean, that's just my opinion.
What, could we do the 1% to be on the March ballot, but then
Work out some kinks and do
work out
November.
some other and do the November, yeah,
I'm not
for
opposed
the
to
fire
that.
department, and then that might give us some time to,
I can put that capital outlay plan together, that way, you know, you can at
Where
least
it's real
see.
clear and it's fair to, for all police and fire.
That way you can have a roadmap to what I feel like the expenses are gonna be over the next 5 to 7 years.
I'm not against it. I think we've grown to the point with our sales tax to where it may be time to split it up a little bit. But like, we were saying, I'm concerned about future. I've seen
Yeah.
what's happened in previous years with other council and mayors, and I just wanna make sure we don't end up in
If the fire
a,
department has
yes.
an emergency, I don't think the police department has room to give up a chunk of y'all's income.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like you asked for, you want a big expenditure that I'm looking at that's coming up, and I have no clue where I'm gonna come up with the money. And our camera system it's on the verge of being done. It's crashed so many times, I can't even tell you, and that's a huge expenditure. And so, what are we gonna do when that happens? We're gonna be without, and we don't have the funds to cover that.
How long is the camera system expected to last?
Well, this was, put in 2018,
Yeah.
and of course,
How much is it?
the systems that we currently have are not compatible with the next upgraded systems, at least in part they are, and in other parts they're not. But everybody's pushing for the body worn cameras, which we do have, but I have, those systems are, while they share the same server, they're two separate systems. We're used to, they were all in one. You activated the lights, body camera, in-car cam came on all at the same time. The officer didn't have any control of that. Now, the way it's set up, because of redaction software and with the FOIA so much and us having to have redaction software to regulate what is released as far as body camera goes, well, I can release the information to you on a traffic stop regardless who's involved and what the circumstance is. I cannot do that necessarily on a body camera where I'm in your house and I'm videoing your
Yeah.
children and so on and so forth. Well, the redaction software is obsolete, and when it was available, it was $10,000. But now it's obsolete, they don't support it anymore, and we can't get it. So I would have to send, and the way I overcome that was I separated the systems where they are not activated automatically, the officer activates it. Well, now, if you want my body worn camera video, and there is things on there that needs to be redacted, then I'm gonna make you pay for it up front. I'm not gonna cover the cost of it. If you want it, you're gonna pay for it up front, and I will send it off and have it done. But that way, that keeps us from having to, eat the cost of redaction, and then you decide you don't want it, and then
Yeah.
I'm sitting there holding the bag on the cost of that redaction. So, but my body worn cameras are right at $1,300 to $1,500 a piece. I've got enough currently to keep at least everybody, at least for the most part, with the camera on, even if there's 3 or 4 guys at a time. But those are constantly being revolved in and out because the cameras are breaking. Motorola don't wanna service them. Even if Motorola bought WatchGuard and they own it, they don't want to service WatchGuard equipment. And so,
They're always gonna have something new that doesn't get updated just so you have to buy new.
Yeah.
correct. And
I
see,
mean, that's across the
currently,
board.
we own our server, so all of our video footage is maintained right here at the police department. Now, the new thing is, of course, is the cloud, and that's an additional charge that they charge for X amount of data,
Okay.
So these systems, and the issue too is that, while they are kind of the same, yet they're not compatible with one another, if my system dies, I lose everything. That means all of my systems need to be, in other words, they need to be run simultaneous until the old one's phased out.
Okay.
Right. So,
Will it be a big cost if we split it up over 2 different elections?
I mean, I'm
I don't know.
I'm fine with, tabling I think, I'm fine with tabling the 0.5% if that's what the council wants to do. My main focus with the big project that we have right now, you know, that we're trying to do, I'm starting to run into little bumps and can only do so much within a month due to funding. So,
And we don't have to, we can table it tonight, we can also have another meeting
exactly, that's what me and,
within the next day or three or whatever, and, you know, get some,
Me and
everybody
Jacob-
has a better understanding
Right.
of it,
Me and-
and something more is in concrete.
right, me and Jacob were talking about that, we can kind of work out some.
I mean, I love you guys, we can
Hang
get
out
together every day.
night. Okay, so, entertaining a motion to, table ordinance 2025-6.
So moved.
Got a motion, got a second, all those in favor say aye.
Alright,
Any opposed, same sign.
and if we want to, right now, we can make another meeting, request another meeting to have this conversation here recently, so it can still be on the November 3rd ballot.
Right, and I believe we could do it, we had discussed that earlier. Even if we wanted to give chief some time for like a master plan, we could, conduct a special meeting, before our work session for the budget.
Let's do it,
Okay,
Do that.
and that still gives us time for March.
okay,
Let's do it.
We can
Okay.
Do a short session for that and then.
right, and then go into our work session.
Go to
Yeah.
work
Okay,
session.
so entertain a motion to conduct a special meeting on November 17th at 5:30?
5,
5?
I don't know, 5:30, 5 o'clock
5:30.
might be tough for some, but.
Okay. Say, entertain a motion for November 17th to have a special meeting and talks of the 0.5% sales tax at November 17th at 5:30 PM. Need a motion?
At what time?
5:30 PM. Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? All those in favor say aye.
Alright,
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any comments from the council before? Holly, did we have any public comments? Okay. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion, got a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
alright.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank y'all.
Did anyone want to go see the grocery store?